being equal, tonight's show was damn good.
Make sure you tell the bosses that, I added. The Russos, the town's most famous and wealthiest family, ran the station, but despite their wealth, or perhaps because of it, they weren't going to keep funding the station if it was performing poorly. That extended to its presenters. Not that I had a huge audience. We broadcast to roughly 13,000 regular listeners. Howard Stern I was not. It was all a far cry from my glory days a decade ago when I had previously worked in London. Back then I had risen through the ranks to secure one of the most coveted late-night talk radio spots. My special brand of the weird and strange had once drawn millions, until audiences' tastes shifted, and I slipped down the career ladder. I eventually landed here, in Hallows Bridge, an ancient fishing village on the east coast of Essex. I was now working through the dead of night for minimum wage. Shelley opened the studio door.
How's the date search going? You finally follow my advice and get on the dating apps? About time you got back on the horse. It's been at least 4 years since your ex left you.
5, I corrected as I walked through the door, Whiskers at my heel. I'll ignore the subtle accusation that it was Tamara who left me, and not the other way around.
Sure thing,
Shelley said, nodding with mock agreement, making her afro shake. The woman was a lunatic. Just because you never saw it doesn't mean she was all sweetness and light.
Hey, what happened behind closed doors is your business.
If only it was, huh? I grabbed my leather coat from the rack, putting it on, being careful not to expand the rip that had appeared beneath my left arm. I couldn't afford a new one, not with being behind on child support payments for my kid, Kyle, and the alimony, and the rent arrears, and the debt I owed to, seemingly, everyone.
Well, stud,
Shelley said, wrapping a scarf over her head and around her neck, trapping her hair in an awkward shape around her face.
You found anyone desperate enough to bump bones with?
I did get a match, as it happens.
What's she like? Or is it a he? A zer? I don't want to assume.
Shell, we've worked together long enough for you to know I'm into women.
Then why do you continue to spurn my advances, young man?
She leered at me, then elbowed me playfully in the ribs. Young. I'm 40 this year, though still a decade younger than you.
So? I like 'em young. Besides, I can make you real happy.
I'm flattered, really, but you're just not my type.
Beyoncé-like?
No, psychopathic. Consider it a personality clash. Shelley reeled back with mock offence.
You besmirch my honour, good sir.
Have you forgotten that you burned your ex-boyfriend's entire record collection in a bonfire so large it nearly burnt down your neighbour's house?
That's an exaggeration. I left the ABBA singles. Anyway, I need a smoke or 3. Tell me about this hot dates outside.
Whiskers and I followed Shelley down the corridor to the exit. I handed my little canine pal some treats from my coat pocket. Once outside, in the cold, dark winter morning, Shelley leaned against the brick wall and lit up a cigarette. A sickly yellow pall from the streetlight glowed from the fog, casting the scene with an ambience that wouldn't have looked out of place in a John Carpenter film. My old, rusted black Subaru Forester was parked in the small space next to the station. I opened the passenger door and let Whiskers hop into the footwell, where he curled up in a nest of blankets. That's odd, I said, looking around. Hobo Hank's not in his spot. On most mornings I would give him some change for something to eat. That was the hope, anyway. I wasn't so naive to think that it wasn't going to be spent on cheap vodka or crack, or vodka laced with crack. Shelley checked between the station door and the large industrial bin.
Oh, must have finally moved on. About this date of yours.
While I scraped ice off the windscreen, I said, her name's Nymantha. She's an old-school 80s goth. She likes the show for my musical choices. She's a big fan of Bauhaus and The Cure. She actually messaged me after recognising my face from the old mugshot on the station's website.
Must be local, then.
Outskirts of town, on the other side of Black Birch Wood. I'm going over there tomorrow night. It's a little weird, though.
Not surprising. Strange lot beyond Black Birch.
Strange how?
Dunno. They just give me the creeps.